Good evening, everyone. My name is Santiago Durango. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions here at Fountain Valley School in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I'm excited to greet you all tonight and introduce you to our Student Voices panel as well. To get the night started, I'm going to go sort of over the agenda that we're going to have going for the night. We're going to start off with a few introductions so you guys get to learn more about our wonderful student ambassadors here at Fountain Valley School, sort of who they are, what role they play here at Fountain Valley, and what is some of their involvement. And then we'll dive into some questions that we've prepared up and that I'll moderate and ask the students as well. And we'll leave some time as well towards the end of the session for any sort of Q&A that you guys would like to ask our students as well. If you have any questions for our students, please use the chat feature to leave your questions. And then once we get to that portion of the presentation, I'm happy to present those questions to our students. Again, I'll start off with introducing myself. My name is Santiago Durango, again, Assistant Director of Admissions here at Fountain Valley School. I'm new to the Fountain Valley community. I've only been here for a couple of months, but so far it's been an amazing experience and a warm, welcoming environment. So like many of you guys looking at Fountain Valley, a lot of things caught my eye. So I was excited to learn a lot about the school, not just from the faculty, but from the current students and some of the members here as well. I'll sort of start off introducing our students, and I'll ask that Sam introduce himself first. Oh, Sam, you're muted, my friend.
I pressed unmute. That's funny. Hi, I'm Sam. I'm a senior. I've been here at fvs for 3 years, and I'm a RA in a residential assistant in one of our dorms, and yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. Brennan, would you like to go next?
Hi, I'm Brennan. I'm a freshman here, so this is my first year. I'm a day student, so I live at home in Colorado Springs, and I'm on the volleyball team, and I'm in debate club.
Thank you, Brennan. Jonathan.
My name is Jonathan. I'm a sophomore. This is my first year. I'm originally from Connecticut. I'm a boarder, and I also play for our club soccer team.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. Tess.
Hi, I'm Tess. I'm a boarder. I live in Colorado Springs and New York City, so I split my time. I'm on the volleyball team. I'm also affiliated with the Round Square Club that does exchanges and conferences. I just attended a conference in London. I do debate club, and I'm our junior co-class president.
Awesome. Thank you, Tess. And then Marina.
Hi, I'm Marina. I'm a day student from Colorado Springs, and I'm a senior. I've been here for 4 years, and I'm a peer leader, and I'm on the basketball team.
Awesome. So thank you so much to our panelists for introducing themselves. And again, thank you for the audience for taking the time out of your evening to learn more about Fountain Valley School and connect with our current students as well. So we'll kick off the night with our first question, and that's sort of for the panelists. Can you guys sort of talk a little bit about your journey to Fountain Valley School? What are some of the things that drew you to applying and choosing Fountain Valley School as the next place for high school?
Yeah, so basically I was a competitive figure skater. I was in a highly competitive atmosphere. And then I ended up taking my SSAT in the school. And I was kind of shocked at the environment that was around me and the kids welcoming me on campus. And I kind of wanted to challenge myself academically a little bit more. And then once I toured and talked to some seniors that were leaving my freshman year, I kind of decided that it was the right place for me. Just like academically, I felt like I could thrive more than I was before. Yeah.
Thank you, Tess.
So I came here from Germany. I just moved here about 2 months ago, and like Tess, I was not being challenged academically, so it was a really great environment. I came to all of the Zoom events and everyone seemed so awesome, so it seemed like a great place to start high school.
Thank you, Brennan.
So coming from Connecticut, I was at a junior boarding school already. So I was already kind of in the environment and already knew what it was kind of like. And I also play really competitive soccer. So that's also what I looked into. And I've been looking into programs like the one that Fountain Valley has as it just started up. And also just the community. I was never able to come out to Colorado Springs and tour, but I was able to just see an overview of it and have Miss Ratcliffe and talk to her during my interview.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan.
Well, I went to another private school before I went to Fountain Valley, and I'd already like planned on going because I had a friend whose dad worked at the school, and I just got really connected, and I toured, and the admissions ambassador people that were helping me really like made me want to come to the school because they were so welcoming and they made me feel like I was ready to start my freshman year. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, panelists, for answering that first question. Can you talk about a memorable class or teacher that you've had here at Fountain Valley, and why is that class, what impact has that class or teacher had on you so far?
My freshman year, every single freshman takes global studies with someone named Mr. Walker. I think I was kind of challenged and pushed in a way that I had never been before, and it really installed like a love for like geopolitics and international relations that's followed through, and what I'm kind of pursuing and looking at in college now. So I'm really grateful for that class for opening up my eyes a bit to the world.
Thank you, Tess.
Last year for me, I had a teacher, Miss Llewellyn, who taught chemistry. She was a great teacher. She really knew how to teach kids in a way that I have never had before. And it was one of the classes that I really thrived in. She created a very good environment for everyone in her class. Yeah.
I'd like to piggyback off that because she is like one of my favorite teachers. I followed her because I've loved her classes. So I took chemistry and then environmental science, which is kind of what's interests me to my major in college. And now I'm in her sustainable science class. So I think once you find someone you really like, it's really good that you can follow them.
I'll go.
Yep, you got it.
So I'm taking the global studies class that Tess talked about. So I'm actually taking it with a different teacher. He's new this year like me, and it's been really fun. He only has one section of the freshman class, and so we've all gotten really close, and it's been really fun. We just did our UN debate, which was awesome. And we've written papers that I've never been able to do in history before. So I love his class. It's amazing.
I would say Miss Torres is probably one of my closest teachers that I'm with, as I've never been really good with Spanish or with learning another language. I've tried to take French before and Mandarin, and it really hasn't worked out. But she's really interactive with her class, and she strives to make us better every time we enter her classroom.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for sharing those wonderful classes and faculty here at Fountain Valley. The next question would be, what has been a memorable event here at Fountain Valley School? And can you talk a little bit about that event?
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, I was given the opportunity to go to London for 10 days through the Round Square program. And I basically interacted with 150 schools, 1,500 students, all looking to kind of share point of views and perspectives on what's going on in their countries and what can be brought back to our school to improve ourselves. So I'm just really grateful for that opportunity. Not only did I become close with the people from our school that I went on the group with, but I made so many friends and people I can like look forward to seeing in the future. So yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, maybe a month, we had snow, which is silly night out. It's just a giant dance party where everyone dresses up in the craziest costumes. And it's the first dance I've been to where like it wasn't like awkward or weird. It was so amazing. It was just incredible.
So I was going to talk about interim. So I haven't had much opportunity because of COVID, but last year we finally got to go on trips, and I got to go to San Francisco for a French immersion trip. And it was just like the most amazing experience. Like I'm gonna be able to remember that forever. And I have like a way close relationship with the people I went on that trip with. And I'm really looking forward to this year's trips. And some of them are going to Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Bahamas, stuff like that. So it's gonna be a really cool experience.
Awesome. Anyone else want to take part in answering that question? If not, we can move on to the next one. The next question is, what are some great resources to know on campus?
For one, I think your advisor, forming a really good connection with your advisor can create opportunities for you to reflect on your academic life, but also your social, and if you're bored of your dorm life, it's always a really great resource, and where I go to first.
For me, the library is pretty big. I spend a lot of my free periods in there. Miss Bogard, the librarian, is amazing. And there's this little room that we call the closet on the second floor that I can go in and just study. And it's nice and quiet, and it's a great environment for me to be able to concentrate.
Thank you, Brenna.
One of the better resources is your teachers. Your teachers on campus. They are always very inviting, and if you're confused on a topic, they're always free to come for you to come and talk about it and have them explain it better for you. And yeah, your teachers are probably your best resource, one of your best resources on campus to just have a conversation with if some things are not going your way, in academically or even socially, if you have a strong connection with a teacher.
Awesome. The next question is going to go out to everyone on the panel, whether you're a boarding or a day student. I think the skill is really fundamental. But the question would be, how do you find yourself organizing your time? Time management is something really important, a great skill to have in school in general, but especially in a day and boarding school. So can you guys talk a little bit about what time management means to you and how do you find success in it?
Yeah, so I was originally a day student my freshman year, and then came into my sophomore year being a boarder. And I think that was a huge shock for me because we had time where we could study during study hall, but I had a hard time separating myself socially from everyone and sitting down on my desk and doing homework. But I think once I learned how to do it, and once I learned how to understand the times I had for studying versus the times I had for having fun in the dorm or cooking pasta or going to the library, I think it's a skill that's going to follow throughout my life, understanding like that priority. Yeah.
So I'm a day student, so I don't have like study hall. So time management is a little bit harder for me because there's no one telling me like sit down at a desk and do your homework. So my parents do take away my phone when it's like time for homework, which is helpful. But I try and like separate like the amount of time I'm gonna do spend 30 minutes on math and 30 minutes reading, and just trying to separate my time and make limits so that I can get what I need to get done in a certain amount of time.
I'm also a day student, so it's obviously a little bit different because I don't have that time too. But I feel like after the past 4 years and like understanding that you really should use your free blocks because they're very important, because then you won't have to go home after you're tired after sports and do your homework. But if not, I think just like trying to get it done immediately when you get home is really helpful for me because then you can have time to yourself.
Awesome. Thank you all for answering that question. Now this question is going to go to our boarding students that are on the panel. Can you guys talk a little bit about residential life? What are some of the things that you're enjoying about it? And what's a day in the boarding student look like?
So I kind of start my day around like 7:30. I think it's like really important to get up and like understand my like prioritizing breakfast, because I think sometimes when you live at school it can get a little hard to like go to breakfast and go to lunch and go to dinner, but that's definitely a priority for me. We have things such as like rally points during study hall some days. That part of dorm life I think is really important because it allows like other dorms to connect, and it overall just brings a sense of camaraderie to our community. I also think that the connections that I've made within my dorm, whether that be like the person next to me or down the hall or who I was in the dorm with last year, it's a whole, it's like we're sisters in a sense, which I think is so beautiful in a sense. Yeah, I personally really enjoy being a boarder. I love my roommate. My dorm parents are amazing. They bring food. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you, Tess. Anyone else?
So being, oh, Sam, you could go.
No, I in my experience, dorm life is great. I mean, we've had multiple dorm parents that have not only brought in food, but we've also played games. For example, we had a FIFA tournament with Mr. Durango, and we've played multiple games with other dorm parents, which are really fun. After a while, you feel a sense of like bonding and culture within your dorm. But not only that, making friends outside the dorm is very easy. We have events on the weekends, such as open gym, where I spend my time a lot. I go and play basketball with a bunch of friends. We have a bunch of events, such as like movie buses and stuff like that on the weekends. Other events, such as rally points, where building as a community is very easy, and making friends is a very easy task and really helpful when you're in a boring environment.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Let's transition a little bit in terms of extracurricular activities. Can you guys talk about once either athletic, afternoon activity, or club that you're involved in? Go in a little bit of detail about that club and why you've enjoyed that experience.
This year, I started a debate club at our school with a fellow admissions ambassador who isn't here tonight. But Caleb, his name is Caleb. Caleb and I started this debate program, and we're kind of looking on building it and maybe going competitive next year. So I think this is a huge step for our school because we don't have things such as Model UN because we're so secluded from other schools who have Model UN programs. We really want to like look forward and build this as a sense where all grades and all ages can get together and talk about issues within our community or around the world, or fun things like what is the best color and stuff like that. So I think it's just a good way to share ideas within our community, and I'm really looking forward to building that.
Awesome.
So I'm in Tessa's debate club, and I can second that it's very fun. So I'm also on the volleyball team. I started playing volleyball this past summer for the first time, and the team has been super welcoming, and playing with everyone is amazing. And like, just because you're on varsity doesn't mean that you're not going to be nice to the girls who aren't. It's a super inclusive environment. It's like a sisterhood. I've never played team sports before, and it was a great first experience for it.
So I play for our club soccer team. It's a really high level soccer team. We play in a league called the UPSL, where we play mostly ex-college players and professional players. And it's really trying to get you ready for the next level and knowing what's coming next. We're trying our hardest to stay where we are and get even better. It's a new program. It's our first year. So we've only been together for about 7 weeks. But we go to, like, a couple weeks ago, we went to a tournament in New York where where there was a lot of college scouts and also a couple of other prep school teams. And we played 2 of the other prep school teams, and one of them was also a BlackRock team, which we are affiliated with.
Thank you,
So
Jonathan.
I play basketball and I've played since freshman year. I also do basketball conditioning and I just really love our team. We are like such a united team and it literally just happened last year. I've never had like such a strong team who feels like we're also connected, and our coach is also like so amazing. So I think the best thing is also you can just try any sport. Like I just came in and I was a little bit nervous, but I feel like whatever you are interested in, like you'll be able to do.
Awesome. Thank you, Marina. And thank you, everybody, for answering that question. Can you guys go a little bit in depth about sort of the role that an advisor plays? And sort of how would you describe your relationship with your advisor?
I would say my relationship with my advisor is extremely great, as we're both from the same town in the same state. So being together with her, I could talk about what's going on back home, and as we are pretty far away from home, and just the connection with her and me knowing that she's there for me, and if I need to talk to her about anything, or even if like it's just about talking about classes or my grades or anything like that, I can go to her and she could give me any kind of help or assistance.
My advisor that I had freshman and sophomore year left, and I was devastated. She is the most amazing woman that I have ever met, and I continue to call her every week. And I think that just shows that even though I do have a new advisor and I am building that relationship with her, the advisor that I had last year will be a lifelong mentor and even friend. I can consider her. So advisors are a really special thing when you reach out and kind of not become vulnerable with them, but express your like true self, and they're very understanding. So yeah.
My advisor, I switched until my sophomore year, so she's been my advisor for the past 2, almost 3 years, and she is like the most amazing person. I first switched just because I heard some good things, but she has become like one of my biggest advocates, and she is just always there for me when I need her. So I think finding someone is really important.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And I think our last question before we head into sort of a Q&A option and allow some of the members in our audience to ask some of the questions that you would like to know is, especially we have a lot of 8th graders, 7th graders in the audience right now. Looking back at your experience, what would be one piece of advice as they navigate this, looking for a new school or looking at boarding school for the first time?
So I think really put yourself and dive yourself into the process. It can be scary and it can be intimidating at times, but understanding once you reach the place where you're meant to be, there will be people to help you and students to guide you, and you will make so many lifetime bonds that you could never imagine in the moment in time. But I think just looking to the future and like really diving into whatever school you're looking at's values, and yeah, pretty much.
Well, I think it's really important if you get a chance to shadow the school or tour the school, because now looking at colleges, like it really is important to see like where you're going and the people and the community. And so if you get the opportunity, I think it will really show you like who and what Fountain Valley is.
It's I was an 8th grader just last year, so I can definitely understand like this, how scary it is, but everyone I interviewed with here was really nice. And they started every interview off with like, no pressure, just be yourself. And I know that a lot of interviewers say that, but I could tell that they genuinely meant it, and it made it a lot less stressful. And it was actually kind of fun. So
Yeah, like she said, first time going into an interview was when I was in 6th grade, going into boarding school. So I know it's difficult and it might seem scary, but just be yourself and just go through it and just take your time also and just think about the questions that they're asking you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone, for your answers and giving some great feedback as well. At this time, I would like to sort of open the floor to any questions, whether through the chat or if you are brave enough to unmute yourself. Please feel free to ask any questions to our audience. And I know that we have one sitting in the queue, so I'll open this one and I'll ask it to Tess unless anyone else is involved with the Round Square program. Can you talk a little bit about what the Round Square program is and what sort of involvement takes place in that?
Yeah, so the Round Square program is basically a network of around 150 schools around the world. And it focuses on creating relations between kids on different continents, in different countries with different viewpoints. You are able to do exchanges. I think there's 4 kids this year going to Australia, South Africa, Peru, and really just dive yourself into that culture. Those exchanges happen over the summer or during your sophomore year, and they're usually 3 to 4 months. And usually a Round Square student will also come to Fountain Valley. I was able to take part in an international conference in London. So there were 6 delegates that went, and the theme of the conference was take more and be less. So it was really about our footprint on the planet and how we can begin to talk about these issues within ourselves and within our schools. I think what's really important about Round Square as well is that they offer gap year programs. So you can go teach in Tanzania, or you can teach in South Africa, or you can also do service trips. And I think it's just a really amazing way to get a different point of view. And I have really dove into that and taken so much away from it. But our school has hosted a postcard, which is about a 90-minute meeting with as many Round Square schools that want to join. And we did ours on consumerism last year. And yeah, so it's basically a great way to get a global perspective, especially when we're at a school that has so many different cultures. It's a great way to just talk amongst peers and such. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Tess. Anyone else want to chime in about the Round Square program? If not, we have another question in our queue, and I'll sort of answer the question, but I would love some feedback from the panelists in regards to the answer. So the question is, what is the size of the student population? We currently have 240 students. About 70% are boarding, 30% are day. And our classes are relatively small, with an average of around 12 students and a 6-to-1 teacher to student ratio. But for our panelists, can you guys sort of talk about some of the things you enjoy or your thoughts about having a small class or a small community environment?
Having that small class, you're able to interact with the teacher one-on-one more often. And also you get to know most of the people in the community, and you get to interact with them and have fun with them and become close with them. You're not just stuck with one group, you're stuck with a lot of people, and you're not just with one person, you're with multiple people, and it's really a community feeling.
So my 8th grade class had 14 kids total. I went to a super tiny school and was too tiny, and this is like the perfect size. I can really connect with everyone and have one-on-one interactions with all of my teachers, and like everyone knows everyone, and it's really nice because you still have a lot of friends to pick from. but you can still have a small group or a large group depending if that's what you want.
Yeah, adding on to that, I think it's really special, our history and English classes having small classes, because the dialogue kind of flows between students, and having those connections with your peers can create a more inclusive outlook. I think we don't judge, we don't talk about what other kids talked about in class. If students don't agree, I think it's like healthy dialogue that happens between classes, and teachers facilitate that, and I love that. It makes us feel like we can talk out and add to discussions within classes.
I enjoy.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I guess I was just going to answer a question that's different than that. So if you want to finish what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I'll just wrap it up really quick. So I was just gonna say, I enjoy like the small community because I feel like I can know everyone, but not know everyone too personally, because I used to go to a way smaller private school, so I understand that feeling. But I think it's really helpful because I get to be friends with sophomores and juniors, and it's not like I'm just friends with my senior group or I'm friends with just day students. I really feel like I have a very broad friend, so it's really cool. So I think that's like my favorite part about Fountain Valley.
My question was, do y'all have like a music program or strings or band?
I can take this one. So I'm in select ensemble, which is, I guess you could say, like an honors orchestra. So we have a modern orchestra, which is any instrument of any level, and then I'm in select, which is a smaller group of students that are at a higher level with their instruments, so generally played longer. And then we have choir as well, so that's just singing, and I think that's all for the music program, but it's really fun. It's the Miss Faulkner teaches choir. Oh, there's an introduction to ukulele this year, which I've heard is very popular. And there's a music theory class as well. But I love my orchestra teacher, Mr. Langford's great. And there's concerts throughout the year. It's really fun.
Awesome. Thank you for the answer, Brennan, and thank you for your question. Appreciate it. We have another question in the queue, and this one is going to go out to our day students on the panel. For day students, how has being a day student impacted your experience at Fountain Valley, or how is it different?
I can talk about this. So I think there's always going to be times where you wish you were a boarder because they're there all the time. So they may seem like they have like some stronger connections, but I do enjoy having the ability to go home every night and have like that time away from school. And I feel like I've never not been able to do something I didn't want to. Like you can always go to campus on the weekends. You can take boarders home so that way they can get off campus for a little bit. You can also stay late if you want, which is a fun opportunity to kind of feel like a boarder. And you can really be friends with anyone. So I feel like it really doesn't make a difference. And either way, you're going to have a great experience.
Awesome. Thank you for those questions. From the audience, do we have any more questions? Yeah, absolutely.
What are the weekend activities like, or do y'all have weekend activities?
Yes, so there's a weekend menu that's sent out every Thursday. The weekend activities can include open gym, open pool, so you can go into the gym and play basketball, or I play volleyball. And a bunch of girls in our dorm have floaties when open pool is open, and we kind of just play around there. There's also buses on the weekend, so you can go to Target, Walmart, and get food for the week or stuff you need for your dorm. There's also some like art things that happen, maybe tie-dyeing, or there's an open art barn, so you can go if you're taking pottery or you want to paint. Those are just some. And then I think we do movie buses sometimes, and whoever's on duty, there's this one teacher, Mr. Harrison, who has spike ball tournaments. Those are very fun. So yeah, it's a variety, and it's always different, which is great.
Anyone else want to share a little bit about weekend activities, perhaps a memorable one or one you've enjoyed so far during your time at Fountain Valley?
Was not able to go on this weekend activity, but I got a lot of fun pictures. Just last weekend, they went to the Cat Cafe up in Denver, and the pictures they sent were absolutely adorable. Like it looked so fun.
Also, if you're involved in a sport on the weekend, chances are you might have a game, whether that be home or away. Those are always super fun. And you can go support other teams as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Any more questions that we have from our audience? If we don't have any questions, I don't want to take up any more of anyone's time as well. We hope you guys enjoyed the student panel, got to learn more about some of our wonderful students here at Fountain Valley School, what it means to be a Fountain Valley student. And again, if you would like to connect with any of the students in the panel or learn more about Fountain Valley School, we're just an email or a phone call or a visit away. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. Again, we appreciate your time and your attendance in this panel as well. We hope you guys enjoyed the conversation at the table as well. We look forward to seeing you guys at future events here at Fountain Valley School, and one that's coming up, as is our open house, which will take place next Friday, October 21st, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And if you're unable to attend, reach out to us to figure out ways to connect with us virtually as well. Thank you once again, and have a great rest of your evening.